Water hits the back of my neck like fists I don't remember throwing. Steam fills the room, but I swear it's the crowd, the bell, the punches landing again and again inside my skull. My head is a drum someone won't stop beating. Voices spin in circles, not memories, just noise. I try to breathe, but the air feels too thick to swallow. My own breath is drowning me in a place with no water. I used to know myself. I knew the ring, the rhythm, the cost. But pain has a way of changing currency. It takes more than it gave and asks, how much more can you pay? My hands shake against the tile. My name echoes somewhere, but it's not mine anymore. I traded pieces of myself for survival, and now the bill is due. What's the cost of pain? What do you give? What do you take? I don't have the answer. All I know is, the shower keeps running, the voices keep talking, and I keep standing.
I told him the game changed, and Rocky just leaned back, like he was listening to the bell ring from far away. He kept his voice low, steady, the way only a man who survived his own storms can speak. Change ain't the enemy, champ, he said. It's just time wearing new gloves. You adapt, or you perish. Perish. He said it soft, but it hit like a body shot. I didn't see coming. See, I remember when we were kings, when the crowd shook the arena like thunder, when every punch meant something. Meant pride, meant honor, meant we had something in this world that was ours. Now the cameras flash too bright, contracts too shiny, fighters too busy, chasing highlight reels instead of legacy. It's all spectacle, all glitter, no grit. And I told him, I don't want this to change. I want what we had. Those rounds where I felt alive enough to scare my own doubts away. Those nights where pain was proof that I was here, that I mattered. He looked at me with that same old eye, the one that saw through men like ropes of a ring. You're still you, he says, but the world moves. Even champions get older. The word tasted like rusted blood. Maybe I'm fighting myself, swinging at shadows of who I used to be, trying to beat back the years with left hooks made of memory. Maybe I've been lacing up my gloves to box a ghost, my own. But then the TV flickered. A name, a face. Cold as Siberian ice, power carved from iron, Ivan Drago. No emotion, no fear. A wall wearing gloves, and something in me. Something buried beneath the trophies, beneath the years, beneath the quiet resignation. Ignited. I felt it. That old heat. The roar of the crowd before it happens. The war drum heartbeat. The call. I didn't say much. Just stood there. Hands clenched, pulse, hammering like I was already in the ring. Rocky looked at me, and I saw it in his eyes. He remembered this man. The man who ran full speed into fate just to see who hit harder. Maybe the sport changed. Maybe I changed too. But fire is fire, and mine ain't done burning yet. They call me mountain, silent, immovable, cold, a cliff face carved from snow and steel. They see the shell, broad shoulders, quiet jaw. A man who answers with impact and nothing more. But inside, I have a voice that speaks like any other. Soft, a line of ordinary words I'm not allowed to keep. I was made tidy, forged into purpose. Drilled in the rhythm of the hit and repeat, raised on the geometry of force, jab, cross, punish. They taught me to be efficient, not gentle, to count the cost in breaths, not in souls. Hit, destroy. They said it like weather, inevitable, necessary, and I nodded as if nodding were my only language. Truth is, I do not hate the ring. There is a clarity there, a cold math that matches the way I move. But clarity is not the same as choice. And every strike that lands is a thing I was told to make real. I walked the ropes like a ghost in training, hearing orders like prayers I never chose to pray. Then his name breathed through the walls. Apollo. A shout in a whisper, a history wrapped in muscle and light. They told me he was perfect, perfect to break, that to meet him was to prove the machine was right. A challenge like that is a clean thing. It defines the next day. So I listened to the men with the clipped voices, and I planned, as men who plan do, to do what I was told. But when I think of him, Apollo, something else stirs. Not fear, the word is small for what I feel. Curiosity perhaps, like the first breath before a storm. A wondering if the machine can learn a new number, if a man built to destroy can be surprised by what he meets. They taught me to be a hammer. They taught me where my usefulness begins and ends. Yet I have a heart that remembers the sound of rain, a mouth that could have learned jokes and lullabies. Those parts were boxed away for a purpose, efficiency, and still they whisper in the quiet hours between training, reminding me I'm not only a fist. I will meet him. I will walk into light and bell and crowd. They ask that I leave nothing of him standing. So I nod and I move, and I prepare the blow. But under the armor of muscle and discipline, under the orders and the cold intent, there is a man who wonders what it is to choose. If I am born for destruction, then I will do what I was taught. But in the split of a second between breath and strike, perhaps something human will pass like a current through the storm. And when the crowd roars and the lights burn like questions, I will feel the small, stubborn thing inside me. Not just a machine, but a man who can hear his own voice. We called it charity. A smile, a crowd, two old friends stepping in to show the kids that boxing could be light, not doom. Apollo wanted it that way. He always did. A grin to hide the fight, a laugh to soften the blow. I thought it'd be easy. A few rounds of jokes and soft jabs, old glory rolling like a wheel already worn. He danced at first, playful as always, throwing hearts without breaking his hands. That was Apollo. Showman, poet in gloves, trying to make the world smaller, nicer, kinder. But then I saw Drago, a cold mountain in a man's suit. Not a kid playing at thunder, not a rival to banter with. There was no humor in him, no light, just a calculation, a coldness that moves like winter. When he planted that first shot, the room tilted, and Apollo's knees answered the truth. He hit hard, like a machine meant to finish things. Again and again, clean as a verdict. I watched the color leave Apollo's face, the fool's bravado crack, and something in me changed. Sharp and quick, like the bell snapping the world back into place. Apollo looked at me once. Not the flash of a showman now, but the raw man I'd seen 10,000 times before. No matter what, he said, voice thin as a whisper, don't stop the fight. It wasn't bravado. It was a command from a soldier of his own life. So I kept him up, kept him swinging between breaths, because that's what he would have done for me. He wanted the crowd to see him stand, not fold. He wanted dignity, even if the body wouldn't obey. When the bell finally saved him, it saved him only to hand him back to me, cold and limp and smaller than any hero ought to be. I held him in my arms. His chest had stopped arguing with the world, and the smell of blood and sweat and old glory filled my head. I lifted my eyes, and there was Drago, unblinking, a statue made of winter. And in him I saw the thing that stole the song from Apollo's bones. Then something passed. Not light, not mercy, but a flare of something fierce that had lived in Apollo his whole life. The raw, stubborn fire. It moved from him into me like a last breath, a promise made with dying hands. They say a man can inherit courage. I don't know about that, but I felt it. Apollo's hunger, his refusal to be small, settled in my bones like armor. In that cold ring, with the crowd still singing and the lights too bright, I learned how to carry his spark. He wanted me to keep going, so I will. Not for glory, not for record, for the friend who taught me how to stand, and who, when the world had nothing left to give him, still asked one thing: don't stop the fight. The snow don't talk, but it remembers. Every breath I take out here freezes in the air like ghosts hanging around me. Apollo, Mickey, every fight I ever survived. The cold don't lie. It strips you down to what you are when no one's watching. I used to think I was just a boxer. Put your hands up, move your head, take the hit, give one back. Simple. But pain changes shape out here. It's not in the punches. It's in the silence that comes before them. I drag a log through the snow like it's my past, and I'm trying to rip it out the ground. I run up a mountain like I'm chasing something I lost a long time ago. My bones hurt, my breath cuts, but I keep going because I don't know how to stop anymore. Fighting is the only language I speak fluently. They say Drago was built, not born. Muscle stacked on muscle, cold eyes that blink like machinery powering up. No fear, no doubt. A man with nothing inside but the permission to destroy. I watched what he did to Apollo. I saw how easy it was for him. And I understood something real. If I go into that ring as a man, I die as a man. So I make myself something else. My hands bleed from chopping wood. My knees shake from climbing ice. My ribs feel like they're held together by whatever God hasn't taken from me yet. Pain piles up. Steady, patient. Like snow on a roof waiting to collapse. But I don't break. I won't break, because he can't beat me unless I let myself be human. And I'm not that. Not here. Not now. I become cold. I become quiet. I become the storm he thought he owned. 15 rounds, 15 mountains to climb, 15 chances for the world to stop turning. Could be the end of me. Yeah, could be. I fall and never get up. Could be. I finally meet whatever waits after the bell. But what's the cost of pain? I don't know. I only know how to pay it. With my fists, with my breath, with whatever heart I got left beating in my chest. And if I burn out doing it, if the fire ends right there in that ring, then at least it ends fighting. The arena swallowed me whole. A sea of faces turned against me. A foreign roar that sounded like hate and winter and doubt. Lights burned hot, and the cold of Russia sat under everyone's skin. I walked into a world that wasn't my own, each step heavy with the name I carried. There he was, stone in human clothes, Drago. He doesn't speak like us. He speaks like machines do, blunt, certain. "I must break you," he said, voice empty as a bell. At first, I thought he meant bone or blood. I thought he wanted to bruise what made me stand. Then the bell rang, like a funeral knell, and the first punch found me, and the world slipped to black and white. Color left like someone wiped the sky clean, and every sound turned thin, as if the world had been drained of mercy. Pain moved through me like weather, sharp and precise, and my body learned what fear tastes like. I learned to survive in sentences of breath and grit. Each hit was a test, each breath an answer. I turned the ring into a math of will, move, hold, return, and I hit him back. I made him bleed. There were rounds like small wars, hours that felt like decades, and still the mountain kept coming, cold, relentless. My ribs counted like broken metronomes. My legs nearly folded, but something kept folding me back into the fight, memory, promise, fury. Apollo's shadow was a hand on my shoulder, steady and damned, and I fought for him like a prayer that had teeth. Somewhere between the 9th and the 10th, the mountain breathed wrong, and I found an opening, a sliver of human error. I took it. I climbed his wall, and I climbed and climbed, and when the count came, I felt the whole world tilt. The kind of tilt that says you've done what you came to do. I'd avenged him. I'd brought the fire back for a friend. But the words came back to me in the quiet after the roar. "I must break you. Not ribs, not jaw. No." He meant the way I stood in the world. He meant the little pieces inside that made me forgive and keep going. He meant to grind something out of me that I didn't know could be gone. I won. I beat the mountain. But the prize had a price stamped in my bones. Something inside shifted, quiet and permanent. And when I looked in the mirror, the face that stared back carried a hollow I hadn't carried before. He broke me the way winter breaks a river, slow, inevitable. I left the ring with a victory and a scar deeper than skin, knowing some parts that make you human were left in that square of lights. I had avenged a friend, but I learned the truth. To beat a monster sometimes means the monster takes a piece of you.
The water runs hot, but I feel cold. Like something inside me cracked, and the heat can't reach it. There's a place in me that's gone dark, and no one can turn the lights back on. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why my hands shake, or why my chest feels like a fist closing slow and tighter and tighter. I try to breathe, but the breath gets stuck halfway, like my body forgot how to be mine. They say pain is the price of glory, but pain's free. Pain don't care who you are. Pain don't check your wallet at the door. It just moves in, makes itself comfortable, takes your chair, your bed, your mind. What costs something is trying to feel normal again. And I'm realizing there ain't no normal left for me. I fought too long, too hard. I kept pushing because that's what I do. Get up, stand up, swing back. But somewhere along the way, something in me broke clean through. Not a bone, not a muscle, something deeper. And you can't put a cast on the part of you that dreams. My strength's leaking out of me like the water down this drain. My health slipping, my memory flickers, my heart beats a drum out of rhythm. and I keep asking, what round is this? When does the bell ring? When do I get to sit down? But there's no corner to return to now. Just me, this shower, and a body that refuses to forget what it's endured. I didn't lose to Drago. I lost to the cost. And I finally understand. Some fights you don't walk away from. Some fights just keep swinging long after the bell.